Hello, hello, my crafty friends. It is time. Let me make sure this is turned off and find myself. It says I'm live. Yep. Love it when it kind of goes pretty easy. I don't want to jinx myself. We've had to restart routers and stuff today, so it's been quite the interesting day, to say the least. So I hope your guys' weekend was good. Mother's Day was good. All that fun stuff. Hey, Barbara. How are you doing today? Ooh. Stop moving. Looks pretty straight to me. Make sure I'm quiet. Hello, hello. How was your weekend, Barbara? Oh, there you are. Now I can see you there. Good for a Monday. Well, my Monday has been a little bit on the insane side. So I can't say that it's been like, woohoo, but I thought I'd share some fun stuff that I've been working on today. And actually this weekend, make a few cards with the scraps that I have. I have been dyeing. And actually, Barbara, I thought about you as I was making this because you and I were both talking about how we thought that the lobsters and the crabs and the bright pink wasn't really our idea, but we really liked the colors that were in Everyday You and Me, which is Everyday Happiness, is the paper, and it's still there. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We are, just started raining, and I went and got flowers, and I'm really sad because the flowers are having definitely a shock from going from inside Costco to outside. Yep. I love it. I was outside weeding this weekend to try and get some of that done. So I'm going to share, well, first let me share the original. This is sort of the original. Life is a journey, make a splash, salt water heals everything, and ocean air, salty hair, and it's done with the Ocean Friends paper, our Friends of the Ocean paper, and all the die cuts are actually from the paper. So if you get the paper, you get the die cuts, you're just fine. You don't have to stamp a thing. Unless you're me and you can't find that half pack of paper, so then you're forced to improvise. And this is where my improvisation took me. I had Everyday Life, and Barbara, you and I talked about how these colors were kind of more beachy to us than the pink was. So there's Life's a Journey. Let me share with you you guys don't want to see that piece of it. My three here. You would think I'd be able to. So this is her version, and this is what I came up with. Not a right or a wrong, just a different take on things. What do you think, Barbara? You're more of a card maker, but you might. And then there is this salt water heals everything, and there's actually a lot of truth to that statement, that salt water heals. And that's this one. Yeah, I thought so too. So these crabs are so cute. but I ended up getting them in a very different way, which I may be able to share, may not be able to share. It depends if I still have some extra crabs to stamp. But I stamped first with Misty Moonlight, and I stamped it off, and then I stamped it again, and then again. So I have some second generation and third generations crabs, but it gave that background, and then I went over the top of it with the, shoot. Was it that? I think crumb cake. I think the other one was too dark. The other one would be, yeah, pecan is too dark. So I went over it with crumb cake. So my colors were Lost Lagoon, crumb cake, pecan pie, early espresso, and misty moonlight. Yeah. Those colors back there. So definitely was busy, but I thought the only thing I forgot on these guys was that the crabs and the lobsters, interesting enough, have some red around their claws, and I didn't go in and put that in. I actually did look this up before I made it. And here's the last one. Ocean Air, Salty Hair, and then I'm thinking that I'm going to add Don't Care down here. I've always loved Salty Hair, Don't Care, but Ocean Air, Salty Hair, Don't Care. And then this is the original version that I did. But I thought this turned out great. It took me a little bit longer to edit because I was having to make sure that I could run the papers the way I wanted to run the papers. And then I'm going to use, I used some leftover in colors that I had. Just kind of leftover dots in colors. There's like a set of 4 dots. And then I discovered in the after fact that these guys would look really good on there. Hey girl, how are you, Bernice? And so I just like had a bunch of just like odds and ends left over. But if I were using new ones, I think I'd really go, because I would really use these hex. And I may add these on because they are shinier than these matte ones that I have. And I like shiny and a little shininess. So these are my layouts. Work my way backwards. And I'm going to show you what I used as far as stamps go. I had to stamp. So if you've got the Ocean Friends stamp set, that's great. But you don't need it if you make them as originally planned, which was using Ocean Friends, which is that paper, which is bright, and if you're on a holiday, super duper fun. But for the West Coast, the colors that we used here are much more appropriate. We don't have warm here. We have wind. It's beautiful, and it's nice when it's down there, but I use Seaside Wishes, which the bundle is no longer available. So I didn't use the bundle. I only used the dies and the 3D embossing folder, which is right here, and it has that die that fits inside it like this and cuts out. Yeah, you gotta love it. And then I had to stamp these guys because I did not have the paper. I know I have a half pack somewhere, I just don't know where it went. So here we go. Beautiful sayings in here, but not the ones that I'm going to use today, because unfortunately I am back in the sympathy card division again, which is just like, ugh. So I was looking to have a, like, I don't have the right words to say, from Comforting Thoughts. So I use Wish and Comfort, and I don't have the right words because that never works. And then this one has some good sayings in here. I thought it did. No words to fill the void, but know that I'm here. So there's definitely some really good sending support. Some days are harder than others. So I'm trying to like keep out some things that I like that could be helpful as far as creating. I had a sympathy one out here, which is actually what I'm digging for, but I am absolutely not finding it right now and do not have time to keep digging. So we will use Comforting Thoughts. Thanks, Barbara. What did you think, Bernice, of my reimagined Ocean Friends kit here that I just did? All right, so let me pull in some things for you. And as I said, I made these cards, or the layouts, using the following colors right here. I'll just kind of leave them standing for you while I pull in some other pieces. And I wanted to show you how I did this one piece here. So I made some backgrounds, and I saved all of my, okay, this is first generation, second generation. So you guys can see what I did there. And I did some of the die cutting out, so I got some different ones. Look at this fun stuff. I had some extra pieces or strips and some sentiment pieces that I can put on here. And of course you can see I had a bunch of leftover pieces, which is why we're going to make some cards with them. So I'm going to grab my pecan pie. That's what I used in this folder. I'm going to just show you how I did this folder really quick. Get those out of here so you can see. I'm going to take my pecan pie, and I need to have one of my larger panels. I have some inside panels and larger panels here. So like here's a large panel. Here's another one. The sand dollars, I'm in love with them. I'm really sad to see they're not in here like they should be. These are too long. These need to be 5 inches. So I cut some basic cardstocks out of cardstock pieces, not cardstocks. We would call it French vanilla. It is not what Stampin' Up calls it. It looks pretty close to French vanilla to me. I just know that they're different. Okay, so that's right. So let's grab our sandwich. Actually, you know what? I'm going to bring that over here because I don't often do this where you guys can see it. This is a little interesting. This is the side that this fits on. And this die, you can tell when it's on. It's not going to line up right to go on this side. No matter how you spin it, it will not line up right. So I feel like it's really easy to tell what side it's going to be on. But I'm going to take my ink pad, and I will get ink everywhere. This is just your warning. I'm going to set this aside. This one, I'll do one where I cut it and one where I don't. And I'm just going to ink this. I do suggest you don't do this on your paper, or do it so that you get a craft mat underneath this. Hey Maureen, how are you? Then you're going to take this piece for how we're going to do it this time. Drop that on there, just like that. Make sure it's lined up. And it'll, once it's in place, it doesn't go anywhere. Take your piece of cardstock, set that on top here, and kind of make sure that the edges of the dies are covered. Close that up. And for the Stampin' Up machine, we're going to do a sandwich, maybe, provided one does not lose the base of the sandwich. And your sandwich for this is going to be a 1, and it's going to be a 4. You see that? Yep. And I do like this. I think this is a Spellbinders, because you know they label. That's the right word, I think. So we have this. And now you do not have to distress or anything with this. It just is what it is. And those just come out just like this. And you might be able to use the little dots. You know, the little dots here. But then I'm going to take this smaller piece of paper. I'm not going to worry about whether it's, you know, they're going to come across or go off the page, but most things in nature go off the page. And this gets you a second generation. I haven't done it after I've cut before, but we're going to try it and see what it looks like. Dina, how was your weekend? Put that back out of the way so you guys get to see how that works. This is a good thing to have some wet wipes around. And here you go, you get this second generation. It still looks really good. You have some variation of the ink color, so it's not all the same. I normally just take mine to the sink in the laundry room and rinse them off, but because we're going to be doing this and it might be a little bit of time before I get back to it, I don't want the ink to dry. It's almost always easier to clean up things a little bit. All right, before it dries on. Finished your pages at home, but at least you got something done, right? And you're happy with what you got done. Remind me, Dina, before I get off of here, to show you the pages I made this weekend. That's how we ended up on the sand dollar run here. Okay, and then I'm going to grab these guys and wipe off my dye. Okay, that's a little trick for you. I know that it's not certainly a new trick to ink an embossing folder, but it does work out really well with this particular set. Now, I'm going to bring this back over and find my cards that I cut for this. We do not have the ability to get the stamp set for either the Seaside Wishes or the Ocean Friends, because those are sold out. And you know, everything on Last Chance is while supplies last, but the folder, the hybrid folder, and hybrid folder along with the stamps, no, hybrid folder with the dies is available, so you can create these beautiful sand dollars with that alone and be able to cut out some other amazing pieces that can go with this. Nice bright pieces. Let's see what we can get made here. You can see I have a bunch. I got to be careful about using my little crabs and lobsters though, because they have another project they get to go to. And here we go. Yeah, I always wish I get more done. Always. There's never a time that I'm not like, gosh darn it, I don't feel like I got things done the way I wanted them. And I've gone ahead and scored these ahead of time. I probably am getting ink everywhere just because I have ink on my hands. You try not to. I didn't score these. It'll always make a cleaner crease if you score them. So I encourage people to do that. Did you go to a hotel or did you guys rent a house, Dina, for your crop? Or a fire hall crop? Because you live close to Pasadena, right? And think of your address here. All right. This is 5 1/4, and it's a little bit larger than 4 inches. I measured it because it looked a little bit off. But I am looking for this to be somewhat subtle, right? And I'm going to do this, and I'm going to make sure that I like to use the trimmer when I'm clean. It'll cut cleaner than the, I feel like I'm really off. I check the measurement on this. Oh, that's 4 1/4. And it still needs to lose a little bit. I am not sure. We'll take a little bit more off so that it fits better. All right, persnickety me here. There we go. That's a little bit better. And you know, these are going to be a couple, 2 that I'm going to do first are just going to be real subtle, because I have, again, sympathy cards, and I want them to be, there we go. I don't know, just, God, what do you say? Suicide is not a fun thing, so I want it to be subtle and tasteful, and I want to put just a very, very, I know, and it drives me batty, and my friend Di is always like, you make too big of a deal about it, but I don't feel like I do. I feel like I'm on the struggle bus when it comes to it. Yeah. Which firehouse did you go to, Dina? Because I think did Greenbelt have one, and I thought I heard Greenbelt had one, and who else? I can't remember if Pasadena's or Lake Shores was the second too. I try to stay on top of things, you guys. I don't always do a really good job. Now going to be 3 1/4, but I want to take it off that side. All right, so those are my first couple. Does anybody have this set? Just out of curiosity, got the sand dollars. I could have probably gone with a lighter background on this one because it's the second generation. The dark blue. This is Peacock, yes. This is Misty Moonlight. I'll set my colors back out so you guys can see them here. I'm going to do one like this. Now it wants to look right. And I could put it the white on white, but I have never been a huge fan of white on white. Although I have seen some absolutely stunning cards done that way. I actually want to try something with the other one. Having the card open this way. See, I lose my combo. Okay. Yeah, I agree with you, Bernice, that the matting just makes things look a little bit better. This is the big one. Now, these are awfully flat, but you can take an embossing tool because this is flat. And I had it out earlier. And you can kind of give it a little bit more of a raised element to it. It's a little bit hard to pull that off. Here it is. But you can do that. So flip it over and just kind of in the center. And you need to make sure to have a foam type mat underneath here. And it'll give it just a little bit of a raised center, illusion of having a little bit more to it. It's really hard to see the difference between that. Yeah, it's hard to see it, but when it's on the card, hopefully, if this does what I want it to do, it'll puff up just a little bit here in the center. Yeah. And I need another big, yep. Okay. So I was curious if somebody had the stamp set, the Seaside Wishes, if you had a chance to play with it. It was part of the annual catalog last year. And like I said, the dies, or the hybrid folder and the dies are still available. So I wanted a chance to use. So that gives it a little bit more of a pop to it. Although I think I am going to put some, where are my little guys? Some of these underneath it. You can also use these and then like tape down the edge and it'll kind of force it up just a little bit. Yeah. Well, the nice thing is I think that with the ink pad, this is still an extremely great option for those of us that live around oceans and like to go spend some time on the ocean. Even if you're, you know, going to the beach or down to Florida, to Mexico, cruise, whatever, where there's warm sand dollars, and there's some coral pieces in this set that are really pretty, and we'll take a look at those in a second. Okay, then I'm going to take my sentiment, and on here I am going to do Wishing You Comfort. It is acrylic, so that's a good thing. You know, we can see through it. This is it. Oh, there's Wishing You Comfort. Barbara, did you buy this? I know that you're out there, you know, on the Chesapeake. This might be a sentiment that I don't have all the right words to say. All right. Many people, that's pretty thin. Having blocks that fit close to exact is really a good plan. I'm going to use my Early Espresso for my sentiment. And I had all those cute little white pieces. There they are. I did not want to waste them. So here you've got some great ideas. See, I'm getting better at not squishing into the ink pad. Let me pull this down so I can actually see over the top of it. You can see I use exact measurements here. Actually, I should not have done this onto there, because I'm going to use my peacock again. And I'm going to do 4 inches. I'm going to do the same matting on the inside of this for both of these. So it's going to be 4 inches by 5 1/4 instead of 5 1/2. And I have had some smaller panels that these should fit. Not quite. Those are the big ones. I cut a whole bunch of these just so that I'd have them ready to go. Here we go. Best laid plans, guys. Right. I have developed a liking for the heavier card that feels a little bit more sturdy. I think that's a wonderful option for the... Nope, this is going to be 5. And I do think, oh, that's right, 3/4 by 5. I do think that that offers a lot of, I don't know, I just think it makes the card feel like it's better made, even though that's completely and totally an illusion, right? I mean, cards do not feel better made. I can't cut straight to save my soul today. It's a good thing I'm not. So I can get the other ones done. Okay. So here we go. This is the inside, and we're going to go ahead and put our simple sentiment back onto the middle of this. Getting better at these ink pads. There we go. And then we are going to add our sentiments to the front of these. And then I'm going to make a couple of very, very simple cards. These are actually all about being simple cards. And actually, you wouldn't even have to put a sentiment on the front of this. Because just putting this on the inside says what you need it to say. I was actually having a conversation with somebody about how it's hard to have... Oh, no, 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 no. Oops. Who's made a scrapbook page upside down, just out of curiosity? I am always curious to know who has made projects upside down. And all I'm doing, guys, is giving myself maybe a 1/16 of an inch around this. This is complete exact, if you will. Take note. I glue it down and I don't measure. And so anybody do things like this where you don't really measure things, you just kind of eyeball it and make it look good. Yeah, I missed our bingo. You should try and do it again. All right. But Susan is really the great person. Oops, that was a little bit tighter than I want it to be, but not the end of the world. And there's probably some good ribbon, but I have yet to really join the Happy Happy Ribbon fan club. Ah, that's great, Bernice. I love it. And so you can do either one, and I'll actually probably do one there too, just because I have a little bit of smudging of ink on that. So those are very simple. Even when you've double checked. Wow. Okay, I don't feel so alone in my world. Let's create. Okay. Now this time I'm going to do the white on white, and I'll show you why here in a sec. Here's our cute little, and these cards are going to be our giveaway cards. But I'm going to take something and make them a little bit, whoops, that one needs a matte. No matter what, that needs a matte. I love that I have no science in this, you guys, that I just kind of, yep, need to even that out just a little bit. Okay. This is Lost Lagoon. This is the color I'm using right now, Lost Lagoon. I didn't, I swore I was going to play with the new cards, or the new colors, and I just have not gotten around to new colors. Okay, so let's add some fun here. The starfish here are in the dies, and there is, if you have the stamp, there is a stamp on this. Let's see what we think here. Now, I do not want to put a lot or glue this all down because I want the coral to have kind of a little freedom to be busy. And I'm going to put my sentiment down on the bottom so you can see how it kind of still sticks up, so it kind of gives the illusion. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I'm missing my die to give me my time count. She has not been feeling good, guys, so if you pray, I know that she could use your prayers. Hopefully this will not be, okay, I do not like that, but that will have to go that way. That's too bright. There's a little brown. Okay. Make a cluster of cuteness here. I'm going to not put sentiments on this, so whoever the winners are, actually I think there's only 2 of you, right? Maybe on here. him up with a little dots, a little. Nope, it's gotta be. Oh, here we go. I can do this color. Yeah, I see 6 too, but I only am talking to Bernice, Barbara, Dina. Oh, Maureen was on, that's right. So I'm gonna, on this guy, I am just kind of tweaking the, but I'm gonna leave this without a sentiment so that you can do this. Coming back through to tweak these out so that it has a little bit of roll to it. And these are the 2 cards we're going to give away. This time I'm going to use the prettier gem, or the gems that I thought they are brand new, and I thought, ooh, these are going to be really, really pretty on here. Look at that, you guys. And I do like that they're flatter, you guys. I didn't do any green on that, so we don't. We'll use the lighter color. Look at that. I wish they had these now in the blues. Wouldn't that be pretty to have some in blue? All right, you guys can start putting up some numbers now. I'll grab myself some 2 envelopes. And I have 2 numbers between 1 and 30. Okay, to get these delightful little C cards, let's see who throws up some bids. Somebody told me that they had a lot of envelopes, so if you do not need an envelope with your card, let me know. You don't need to, oh, okay. Thank you. So Dina's passing, all right. Maureen's passing and Dina's passing. So Bernice and Barbara, it might be you guys. I don't know who our other 2 people are, but thank you guys for joining. Oh, I wanted to show Dina these because she's a scrapbooker. So Dina, be prepared here. So Dina and Barbara, it'll be you guys. Here are my take on a guide. And so if you have the Everyday Life or Everyday Happiness paper, let me know because you can get this guide for free. So here's what it was supposed to look like. But I don't know where my half pack went. I have another pack of this somewhere. Don't have a clue where it went. So I took the Everyday Life or Everyday You and Me workshop, and I made that. Here's this one. This guide is free, and this is Saltwater Heals Everything. That was the original for that. I have to say, I do like these colors a lot better. Life's a Journey, Make a Splash. And I used both of these die cuts big time. And this is the last one. Yeah, Dina, you know, Barbara and I had this long conversation, Dina, about this paper, and it just did not speak of ocean to us, and it definitely wouldn't work for anything on the Oregon coast, and even I would say like the Maryland, Maine, all of that is pretty much a rougher coastline. And so these look good, and then I was able to kind of get a blue crab going with the brown and the blue stamped on top of each other. So this guide is free for anybody who has that paper. Send me a message. The pink action. I agree, Bernice. So I'm so glad you guys love these. And Bernice and Barbara, congratulations on winning. I have a bunch of Happy Mail I need to get out of here because I've been slow in getting it photographed. So these will get done today, and then I'll get a group of stuff out of here. Talk to you later, guys, and see you on Thursday.